I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is
It is their right. Yes.
A right, the right that someone has. All our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro guidance issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a vision, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Pleasant evening to you. This is the Freddie Kissoon Show. Thanks for being with us throughout the years. Once again, we have two guests that have been with us quite often, and we'd like to thank them for being again on this program, and I must say at short notice. Our guest this evening is former Mayor of Georgetown and practicing Hindu Pandit, Ubraj Naraine, and former economic advisor to then opposition leader Aubrey Norton and treasurer of the People's National Congress, Mr. Elson Lowe. We're here this evening to discuss the politics of the PNC's direction, not the politics of the PNC, but the direction that the PNC is going in. Ubraj Naraine made the news recently, a big splash in the Kaito News in the Chronicle, in which he's saying, for the future existence of the PNC, Aubrey Norton has to go. On that score, we will ask Ubraj to enter the discussion.
Thank you very much, Freddie, to have me on your program. Good evening, everyone. Thanks again, Freddie. I think the entire Guyana and overseas take note of that editorial where I make mention of the leader of the PNCR must resign and go his way to allow the party to breathe, to regroup and refocus on their constituents, and also to regroup in all the regions. I have received a lot of calls from Georgia and New York from supporters of the People's National Congress reform who actually share the same sentiment. It's too long at this point of time. We have seen the then local government election in 2023, massive drop within constituency of the People's National Congress reform. We have seen the general election, which from 31 seats, we belong to 12 seats in the National Assembly, and that worried me. Yet I resigned from the People's National Congress reform. I still share concern of that great party, the only party with a vibrant democracy, which I believe that is deteriorating every day because of leadership. And that is what I echo in my editorial.
Elson, you that big splash that Ubraj got, that Norton must go.
Well,
Should Norton go?
one of the things I've always said is, and I repeat it, is that best boss I ever had. I think, I learned a lot under him. But what I would say is, I think it is important for the party really and its leadership, of course the leader as well, to evaluate whether they have the right skill set for the situation. I think really the ability to look closely at statistics, understand clearly what's going on, pay attention to the numbers, I think you need leadership that is a bit more focused on that. And I'll carry through some numbers as we go along just to give you some perspective. Because otherwise, strategy becomes not so much strategy, but throwing darts at the wall, hoping, and so on. And I think, while there are certain environments in which certain leaders would have skill sets that suit that environment, I don't think there's any evidence that the skill sets that leadership has right now suit this environment. So it is not really appropriate, I think.
Mayor Naraine, you have for those who are following. I saw a piece by Todd, the MP Todd.
Dexter Todd.
Dexter Todd, yes. I was struggling to remember his first name for a minute there.
Is that for you?
He had a recording and it's on YouTube, and I don't know when he recorded it, but it's recently. And he spoke about the original philosophy guiding the PNC. And he said these people who are leaving are not committed to no philosophy whatsoever, and you can't trust them as leaders. Do you share that sentiment? Can people trust you?
Let me say this much, Leonard. Dexter Todd new in the PNC. That's the first thing I want to make.
Very, you have to put very in.
Very new, yeah, in the PNC. Because I can recall 2020 election and other scenario where
He was nowhere around.
Yeah, including Terence Campbell. And you can't talk about the ideology and the what you make mention, the vision of the People's National Congress reform. Many of them came recently in the PNC, and we have seen that who came recently, they get seats at councillor level and they walk over. That took place a few weeks ago. So when you say that people don't share the philosophical or the views or the vision of the PNC, is wrong. A leader, people tend to say that the leader can't do it alone. So let me put vice versa. President Ali can't do everything he alone, but he's the president. A leader, when you take up that role of a leader of a national political party with a theme, he or she must be able to function on the vision and the ideology of the party and not to move away from the party. For example, if you look at the People's Progressive Party, Civic, where you have newcomers, crossovers last election, but what happened? You see them in any major position? No, right? You can't throw away, I will use common and English here. You can't throw away your loyal member for newcomers. I am not hurt for any position. I am hurting because I know since I'm in the PNC, I have never accustomed to this kind of haywire leadership and decision making. You have a CC, which is the executive arm of the party, right? You don't be a yes person to certain decision. You must be able to stand up and to able to give your view, and that's what make PNC a democratic party. When you can give your views and we can still be friends. We share political views. So when you come to Dexter Todd, I have great respect for all my Guyanese brothers and sisters. But when you come to the People's National Congress reform, I believe many of them need to learn more about the groups and know how to the party function. Look, election finished. General Council you didn't call. Congress is due this year.
Yeah, but you said the party is very democratic and,
Yeah.
and the organs are not calling.
Exactly, that is what I'm saying. Like I said,
You mean if function correctly?
that's right.
What you
If
mean.
function
Oh, okay,
correctly,
okay.
these things will happen because the constitution of the PNC outlined these things, Leonard,
Yeah.
and viewers. There's a constitution that outlines when to call general council, when Congress must be held, when a leader step down, what should happen, and so on. Like Mr. Granger, when he left the party, there was a 5-member committee put in place to run the party until a successive leader took up that position. You know, you have the chairman, your chairman, leave this party and went to the PPP and endorsed the PPP. That tell me something wrong.
Elson Lowe, I'm staying on thought a little.
Sure.
Do you think leadership and the original vision for forming the PNC, you can divorce the two, the leader and the vision? Don't you think if a leader veer off a little, then it could jeopardize how much what you call dedication a person might want to give to a movement? How you view
Well,
that?
I think ultimately the way to approach that, the way that the PNC has approached it, that has allowed the party to be sustainable, is through regular elections and regular, democratic exercise. Not having those obviously is. I think the Congress is due in less than
June.
In June, right? So in a short space of time. So if they call a Congress now, of course the question will be whether people will have had enough time to prepare, whether it would be an appropriate Congress, right? So it should, this is something that should have been called probably 2-3 months ago, So I think that's kind of a symptom of the broader, the need for us to follow with the existing. Nobody is saying invent new rules, but I think it is very reasonable for people to say that these are the expectations of the party. This is how the party functions. You have general councils every quarter and so on. There's something strange about people saying that there should be general council. My brother Ubraj has said many times there should be a general council. Something strange about him saying that the party should follow the party's own constitution. No, nothing is strange about that. Right. What would be strange is if you don't follow it, right? I think that is reasonable. People would think that, But I think what has happened is that, again, we've come to a point where we're personalizing things. Oh, because we don't like a certain person and so on. But, a lot of people, they weren't happy with Granger's leadership. Right? Was it claim of, was it personalized then? Is it just people just don't like Granger? No, I think...
Some people didn't.
I think, listen, it doesn't have to be a personal judgment on the leader every single time that you need to have reform. At the end of the day, your whole identity is not your political identity. You have other identities. You're a person beyond politics. So it doesn't have to mean that. So I think at the end of the day, we got to kind of keep things in perspective and understand that I think it is not a big deal for ordinary party members to say, well, we're supposed to meet, we normally meet. Why aren't we meeting? Is that strange? I don't think that's a strange thing.
Party philosophy a stagnant thing? The original tenets under which the party was formed in 1950.
Yeah. Well, I think...
do you think there's room for movement?
Every party must grow as time change, as circumstances change. However, you want to keep certain core elements of their philosophy. As an example, the PNC, as Ubraj has said, believes strongly that we should hold regular elections, that we should engage membership in that way. So I think that is the party philosophy, But and again, what you're seeing now with the folks who've gone over now, of course, I have many times said that the reason that I won't support the PPP, I don't support the PPP, is because from a policy perspective, I don't see any reason to support them. There's nothing really valuable there. Now, if the folks that have gone over believe from a policy perspective, they've changed their minds about policy or something, but I don't really see any evidence of that, so I don't know what to make of them going to the PPP, other than that they're dissatisfied with the way things are going.
Let me ask you this thing. What role does relationships play in party politics? And can that be a catalyst for moving in place of, or at least the catalyst I'm talking about? I'm not saying that that's the only reason,
but can it be a catalyst for somebody wanting to move in that? When it comes to policy, there people can zoom in on a single issue or issue or two, and that is it for them, and the other policies don't matter. So can that...
Well, what I would say is, listen, relationships in any facet of life are an element of functioning effectively, right? So if you have a strained relationship, I can understand that you might want to move on, right? But what I'm saying is, let's say that you are strong, as an example, I'm a strong believer in free UG. It'd be very strange if I join a party that says UG should never be free.
Right.
It'd be weird, right? So I'm getting at is, I understand one half, which is that believe in part, I can understand. Kind of strange to me that you would join the, I mean, there's other parties, you know what I mean? So that I think is maybe why there's some questions.
But I think
you know?
your focus, Elson.
Maybe if they believe in
Sorry,
infrastructure
Ubraj, we're coming in just.
and things like that. Maybe if they change their mind, they believe infrastructure
But
forward.
I think
you know,
I have a methodological problem with your focus. You seem to focus on where they have gone to, and you saying, why should they go there? But do people not make decisions that become intertwined with anger, emotions, etc. When their expectations, their legitimate expectations, based on decades of dedication, input, are just dashed or just lacerated over a period of time, you lose some sense of perspective, and you just...
Well, listen,
I can't stay in this.
They're human beings at the end of the day.
So we have to look at why they leave the PNC rather than where they're going.
Well, they're human beings at the end of the day, which is, you know, it's part of life. But, you know, as I said, if it is that you care about an issue and so on, I would expect you to go where you can help with the issue, not where people don't hold those same views. Otherwise, you know, when it comes to policies, ideas, you'll find yourself in conflict again.
But what you...
I mean, if you ask those who've left, should public servants get higher salaries? Yes or no? They're going to tell you yes.
Yeah, but you feel...
Because that's what they believe.
You feel...
Unless they didn't believe all along.
But okay, it's your right and your opinion that they have left for a place.
No, I'm not saying...
got good policy making
I'm not saying that that's why. I'm not saying that's why. I'm saying it's reasonable to ask that question. Anyway, I'm saying it's reasonable to ask the question.
Ubraj, you've been out of the loop for a couple minutes here.
To you guys.
Do you think that the PNC could survive? The splash that you got in the Kaicho News and the Chronicle, it was a no-nonsense content in which you say, this guy is going to create a problem. This guy is jeopardizing the future of the PNC.
Freddie, people have known me for a very outspoken person. Right? I'm a very outspoken person, and I don't hold back. I believe...
no, but my question is the PNC exist?
I'm coming to that, yes. I'm coming to that. Where I make mention in my editorial, if Mr. Norton don't resign or even don't go his way come local government election, we can see a sweep wipe out of Georgetown from the PNC, right? And that can be a very, very sad...
Maybe the beginning of the end.
Right? To the PNC. Because let me tell you something. Look where we have gone to from 31 to 12 seats. When I, at the city council, PVP had 7 seats. 2023 election, PVP had increased their seats to 12. Right?
Almost double.
So this thing has to be proper study and dialogue need to happen. And then I want to butt in a little here when you said crossover. I don't business where people want to go, who they want to join. That is a democratic right. But I believe when you have lost an election in this magnitude, the decent thing for a leader to do is to call your members to a meeting. Call your supporters to a meeting. Go back to them and sympathize with them and tell them we will regroup and we will focus and we will come again. Not one bit of that had done yesterday. I spoke to a young lady in Region 1 who is a die-hearted member of this PNC party. You know what she said to me? Not one soul does call her. Not one soul. Ubraj, you're the only one does message and stay in touch at times to see how things up there. You don't do certain things of such. I have never witnessed, and I will emphasize this, I have never witnessed, I have worked with a period of time with Robert Carbon, very young, not frontline politics. I have been there in David Granger. I work with Amna Ali. I work with Joe Harman. I work with Vola Lawrence. I have never witnessed such a thing that is happening in this party.
Mayor Naraine, that is my biggest surprise after the 2025 election, that to this date, the PNC has not sought to regroup. And when I say regroup, I mean like go out, bring their members together, have membership summit, find out what went wrong in our areas, and you know, the PPP won bigly, and
I
the
differ
PPP
there.
had several.
I differ from those statements. One on win and so on.
The PPP won, and the PPP, even though it has won, some people call it landslide and all of that, has gone to its members, have had membership region by region by region, has had membership convention and things like that. And a party that is almost breaking apart has not done that. Why? What's the philosophy?
And not
behind
only
that?
they have not done that, the hemorrhage continues.
Yeah.
Look, the people to my right here are very young. I'm a dinosaur compared to them. And I could tell you this, when you get a Muslim Mulvi and a Hindu Pandit in the PNC, it's like a gold mine you step on, because in those days, East Indian people used to frown on East Indians going in the PNC, much less a top-ranking lawyer, a businessman. But look how much they got, and they are leaving. A man who sat as a pandit for 5 years in Parliament and from Region 6 is gone. A pandit who was the mayor of Georgetown is gone. It's not that the hemorrhaging continues, but it's who is leaving. I mean, substance is leaving.
Well, I think one of the things, and I brought up this question of skill set, is that, you know, even as I'm not as active in politics right now, I keep a close eye on numbers. So when I look at the number of shares and likes on things that are posted on the APNU page versus, as an example, the Win page, I mean, you see routinely 1,000 shares, 900, 700 shares. PNC page, you see 100, 50, 20. On occasion, you'd see a big one. And that gives you a sense that the direction of travel is not a positive one, all right? So you got to keep track of that. Again, it is not personal, it is. These are the numbers. I didn't make the numbers, those are the numbers. So you got to kind of be aware of it.
Built into the mechanism.
Yeah, and you know, liking things, sharing things, those things are, well, liking, sharing in particular, because when you share it, people see that you shared it, right? So it means that you have a level of engagement with material. You know, and so I think looking at the numbers, even if maybe you said, all right, it needs a minute or two to change things, turn things around, looking at numbers, you know. So you would have heard me say from the very first time I came on the show that unless there's a major change immediately, lots of money spent, a very aggressive change, you'll have a WPA style a AFC style party with a WPA flavor, right? Right? So basically what I'm getting at is the skill set the skill set that's available, right? The skill set of those that are there will lead them there.
You can have an AFC with a WPA. You actually say that's a euphemism for you can have a dead man limping along.
Yeah, and a few dinosaurs.
I think you'll always have a core nugget of folks, right? But I think that nugget has its role to play in Guyanese society. But I mean, it's not rocket science. What I'm explaining is looking at the trend, the momentum, the magnitude of what happened, looking at the numbers, tracing the numbers. That's what's happening. So, you know, I mean, I understand people have the loyalties and frustrations and so on, but, you know, I mean, that's not going to help, you know?
Elson, you are educated, you are genetically multiracial, you're young, you're good looking, and those qualities to make you throw your hat in the ring from Congress?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, for me, as I've said many times,
Please answer the question.
I think the best thing is that we get some elder who can bring everybody together. But at the same time, you know, I want to do my best to support the party as best I can. But if I see that, you know, they're not interested in adding the skill sets or building on the skill sets I'm describing,
throw your hand in the ring.
we'll see how things go. Because at the end of the day, if my goal is to end poverty and to help end poverty, and you're not going to help end poverty, what am I doing?
You don't take it there, so no, I can't. Edson for leader. Edson for leader.
For those who are watching, if you look at Ubraj's hand, he got a paper in his hand.
That's his application
and
for the PPP.
he told us that's his application for a party. Freddie believes it's the PPP. I believe it's WIN. Mayor Naraine, would you kindly tell us what's on the application
The
form?
last time I came on this program, me and Freddie Kissoon had a heated argument about Forbes Burnham, and where he chastised and criticized Forbes Burnham. And I went back and I wrote an editorial which he responded to me, but I didn't respond to him.
So you come to respond now?
No, I didn't come.
And that's what's on the paper.
I brought him his pieces that he has done in 2008, in 2009 and 2018 that published.
Wait, stop there.
That published.
Stop there. In 2026, I have written positively of Burnham.
And all of these things.
Why you get?
No, Freddie, let him finish his point.
Right? He chastised Burnham. And he called Burnham all certain names. These are the editorials that Freddie Kissoon praised Burnham leadership.
But why you go
What did he say? What did he say?
Right? He know what he said.
No, you tell. No, don't deceive viewers. Tell the viewers what I said.
That Burnham, that desecrated this country in many aspects. And he went on and on.
No, but you said I praised Burnham.
To remind Freddie Kissoon
tell me what I
did write or wrote great things about Forbes.
Tell them what are the great things.
What are some of the great things, buddy?
Right?
You're trying to con the viewers.
I'm not con the viewers.
But why you
the
stop?
evidence
So then why you told us it's an application form?
I never said that.
Bring it on Freddie.
I never said that. It is here.
Give me.
It is here.
But listen,
It is here.
you're losing your credibility
No, I am
in
not.
front of the viewers because you stopped in 2018 when in 2026 I have written positive things about Burnham.
Listen,
About
Forbes
6 weeks
Burnham.
ago, I
Forbes-
talk about the Harbour Bridge. I talk about his
You
foreign
didn't
policy.
speak about the
I talk about
development
the
plan in
energy.
1970.
Don't-
Did you speak of that?
But that is not one of the
With
things
the
I
Heroes
praise him
Highway
for.
and the New Bridge and so on. All of that they're in the 1970 plan. Development plan.
I haven't taken the plan as a
I
holistic
have a copy.
thing.
Can I
But
give
the
you a
thing,
copy?
I don't want a copy of
I'll
anything
give it
that
to
you
you.
give me about Burnham. You don't understand
Right.
Burnham.
Right.
Anyway, you see how deceptive you are?
I am not. I brought my evidence.
You're telling people the
I
things
brought my
I wrote
evidence.
about Burnham. Everybody, including PPP leaders, have written positive things about Burnham.
I
They
brought
have
my
said
evidence.
that they have said that he was anti-colonial. They have said that he brought the NIS into being. They said he supported socialist liberation movement.
He
But
did
what
well.
you,
He set the
what you didn't do,
he set the foundation.
I don't
for
want to
this nation.
divulge this thing, and you're trying to divulge.
I am not trying to
What you
divulge.
didn't do is
All right.
talk about the demonic side of Burnham. You bring paper
Right.
about Freddie
Your
Kissoon
evidence.
writing.
Your
You
the
bring
evidence
paper
are
about
here.
Freddie Kissoon writing
Right.
things about Burnham. Everybody who
Speak.
don't like Burnham
Speak.
have written things about Burnham because he was a complex man who
Speak.
did good things, but he did terrible
Speak.
things. Go on,
The
go on,
man-
Fred.
why you want to cut me now? Huh?
Your last
Evidence
thought.
are
Your
here.
last thought on that. Oh, what is it? No, I don't like when Freddie cut you, you know. I don't like when Freddie cut you, so I giving you time to say what you gotta say.
And you put your, and when you do that, you put his foot in his mouth like you did the last time in Prominent Garden. And so, no, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not super sure what you guys are referring to, so I don't know if I can have a specific thought.
You go on about the future of the PNC. You go on.
Yeah, no, listen, as I said.
Oh yes, leadership, huh? Ubraj, when Ubraj just signaled to me, I don't know if the camera picked up, he would support you for leader of the PNC.
Look,
behind your back, he just
I got a question.
No, Leonard, wait, let me finish this part here with Freddie. I am saying to the PNC family, go out there, do some kind of summit, get back your members, bring back people like Annette Ferguson, bring back people like Christopher Jones, engage people like Rizal Ford, bring back Vola Lawrence, bring back Carl Greenwich, bring back those people to advise this party so that the party can able to continue on a smooth journey.
I don't understand why they don't bring themselves back. Why
they're there, but if you don't have people
if
engage
you have
them,
leadership obstacles,
right? If you have leadership obstacle, what will happen?
I think he's right.
Freddie, you have to listen. This thing is not
Sit down,
personal.
sit down,
No,
sit
I
down.
can't sit
No,
down.
let him stand up.
This thing is not personalize anything against the leader. I have no beef with Aubrey Norton. I have no issue with him personally, but I believe it is time now.
It's the politics you have.
Exactly. I believe it's time now. Mr. Norton should take his leave and allow young people, vibrant people, and still be around PNC.
You and low.
No, I'm out. I resigned from the PNC.
But you would rejoin.
But
You would
I
rejoin.
I will rejoin if there's a leadership, if I see leadership in the PNC.
You would rejoin if Elson becomes the leader.
I have no problem supporting Elson Lowe.
Freddie just railing people up, you know. Freddie just railing people up.
Before you go, I want to make one more point. Bring back
Sit down.
No, I can't sit down. Bring back these people and Freddie, and let us work together to build and regroup and refocus on our base. If that don't happen, terrible thing will happen within this party.
Freddie, before I ask this question,
you gotta tell us what the terrible things.
I want to just make mention of something with the AFC, because I was from the AFC. And we had several discussions about the AFC, and I said the AFC has a structure, and if it depends on that structure, it could still get a seat or two or whatever. And when I decided that the AFC can't come back, is when something similar to what Naraine is saying. When I asked old members who have left, and may not have left totally, right? They may have just gone dormant. And I asked, man, anybody call you? Anybody? Was that call made to you? Did anybody invite you? Did anybody call you to a summit? Did anybody give you an opening? And people after people after people who have contributed over the years to the AFC, all of them said no. And then is when I realized that AFC is gone for channel. Then is when I realized that AFC has no coming back. And I think Elson Lowe's comment is up in that when he said it's flirting like a AFC with a WPA flavor. That's everything that I see.
Elson Lowe and Ubraj are in the 30s. I don't think they know what gone for China means. Do they? Do you know what gone for China means?
I can take a context clue.
You know what gone for China means?
Of course.
You know? Oh, okay, I just wanted to know because...
A young lady taught me what it means. Right. A young lady taught me.
Yeah, sorry to cut you.
Right. No. I just wanted to make
gone
that
for
comment
China.
because I'm seeing streaks of that in the PNC, and you know, it is suggesting that the PNC is gonna just be
Well, as a man, I don't want to. I wanted to be clear though that in Guyanese society, the skill set that the people who are, I think, very active in the PNC have, I think it is a rights-oriented skill set. I think it is a skill set born off of a lot of history and so on and so on again. There is a place for that, right? The problem is, it's not a place that the PNC is accustomed to. Because you can have a party of reasonable size which is focused on rights and so on, which is useful, you know. But if you want a party that's going to come to government, that's going to become leader of the opposition again first, then come to government, you need a different skills, you know. So the skills they have, the party's not going to disappear, but it's a different creature than it was. And I think that is what people are starting to figure out. And as they figure it out, you're seeing them either leave or become dormant and so on. So, but that's okay. I mean, the party has it will still be valuable to the country. You know, it just would be different, valuable in a different way. You know?
But Elson, there's an alternative. It could just ebb and ebb and ebb, and while it's ebbing, more dynamic forces come into play. I mean, what more evidence you want than a 3-month-old party contest an election in a global context that's really absorbing?
Well, that's one half of it.
Got 16 seats. So is it not possible we could be witnessing, as we witness parties coming and dying over the past?
That's one half of it. The bigger concern to me, though,
because he said if it continues like this, Ubraj said terrible things are going to happen.
Survival,
I think I think he's talking about survival.
Survival, yeah.
I think the bigger issue, while of course win is a major issue, don't get me wrong, but the fact that the party basically suffered a boycott at the last election, you know what a boycott is? A boycott is a vote against the party. And to me, which is why I said without major reform, that is, because it means it'll be very difficult to grow or to regain
What
votes,
element of the election was a boycott?
Well, there's between 60 and 100,000 people who would normally vote for the PNU who just didn't show up. And that to me
is that many? 100?
Between 60 and 100,000, depending on the proportion of young people that are voting and so on. But at least something like 60.
What was the in actual figures? Because you should know, you're an economist. How much was the new registrants, the people that came of age?
I don't have the exact numbers on hand.
So why you say 60 to 100?
Well, what I'm saying is when I boil down the numbers, that's what came out of it.
So
but the reason I say that is that
hold on.
you would normally forecast the PNC and the SU between them to get something along the lines of like 210, 220, right? So if you normally get 210, 220, and all of a sudden you get 77 and 4 and 100 and something, then it means that there's a gap. And then when you add the fact the population has grown, it's like, you know.
No. So you're saying, even with the votes that Win got there and then, the votes that PNC got, you're saying that there were 60,000 people who normally voted for the PNC stayed home?
Yeah, probably. Based on the numbers, I don't know where each individual voter voted, but that's probably what happened. Because the other thing to note is, Win, for all the PPP is minimized, Win did take some votes from PPP, right? Not as many as maybe Win would have hoped, but they did take.
Not significant at all when you look at the database.
I tried to put out something saying roughly 30,000 from the PPP. The PPP,
no, but where?
The PPP was supposed to make...
No. The PPP,
I took a look at that thing. I don't think
I read the
based on the population,
I read the GCOM data. I read the GCOM database, and they gained 213 votes in Region 3. They lost a couple hundred votes in Region 6. But when you check and do the comparison, it's not even near 30,000.
There are many areas where they did pull from the PPP, especially in Amrin, in the areas. There's many areas like
that. With that report that came out from the Carter Center, the chairman of GCOM should resign. Miss Claudette Singh retired. Because when you do look at that report...
I think you said we gone off a topic.
No, you're all talking about GCOM.
No. What was the indictment on Claudette Singh?
When you talk about the report spoke about disfranchised voters and so on.
Excuse me?
Yes,
No.
We did read different
I read the report.
And,
the Carter Center said people were disenfranchised. Ubraj Naraine, that is not so. Please, please, man.
Of state resources by the current government.
Well, that was definitely.
That also was there.
Definitely there.
Right? So all of those things are
They didn't put it over the way you put it over.
Right?
But Mayor,
it's there.
Which party since independence have not taken advantage of the incumbency during an election.
No,
Yeah,
not Guyana.
the
Which
go-
party in the world?
The
Which party in
government
the
has
world?
abused
When a party, when a party is
misused
feeling
state
when
resources.
a party's opposition is
Right.
going in a certain direction, the government in the UK and any try to steal their thunder. It's not a
Yeah, but
it's all over the world.
But fellas, one of the
Abuse
things
and misuse
one of the things
of
you'll
state
understand
resources.
about young people in Guyana, which is why I think a lot of them, stayed away from election, is that we don't want to hear whataboutism. Just because you do it, I do it, is all right.
I was
We want the
reading
country to
something-
progress. We want
I
to
was-
stop doing things that shouldn't be done.
No. I
know what I
don't.
mean?
That's a
Leonard.
point I don't agree
No,
with.
Leonard.
There is a
Just 'cause
real.
the PNC did it, so we could do it too.
No.
That's not.
There
That's not
is-
right.
No.
know.
There. Sometimes we go into.
But what is normal behavior? You guys making
exactly.
abnormal
It's
behavior?
normal. Exactly.
Do you know what?
That is what.
That
it
is
you know what-
corruption.
Do you know what Keir Starmer
That
is doing
is
in the
corruption.
UK? He's trying to outdo
Right.
Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
But
and
that
it is normal
Biden-
political
during the
behavior
during the
in any.
that
You know
is
what
not
Biden
for
was
us,
doing during
Leonard.
the
That is
election?
maybe for you guys as y'all
forgiving
claim old
student
dinosaurs.
loans.
Yeah, it was
The
like-
young people don't want to engage in corruption.
Yeah, well,
Using state resources, that is encouraging corruption, Leonard. I'm surprised of you.
You have campaign
I'm
resources.
surprised of you,
You
sir.
didn't raise money for campaigning. Why
Right?
you have to use state
I'm
resources?
surprised of you encouraging such a thing.
State resources were.
It is
So a
mentioned.
minister
It is-
not-
it is
hold on.
mentioned.
It is listed
In
as
a
a
report.
Stop it, but
Yes.
let's handle it that you bring it up.
Yes.
A minister is supposed to park his vehicle, use his private vehicle, private driver to go to a campaign.
I'm not saying that.
Where
Leonard.
in the world does that happen?
I'm not saying that state
And if the
resources was
minister-
using, but so you bring ministers, so the NDC could have
Sit
taken
down,
their
sit down.
truck and tractor and put up the PPP flag. Isn't that state resources?
Man.
There's
But you
a lot
showed
of
it, huh?
difference.
You have evidence of that?
There's a lot of difference in using, abusing state resources and misuse.
One of the things I find. One of the things I find about you.
Evidence.
One of the things I find about
I
you.
find
is that
about you.
You mouth off a lot of things.
No,
Usual
no,
propaganda things.
The propaganda. You have a 38 Indian come in this country to work, and the minister claim, Attorney General claim and say, how the government gonna know about all of this? So therefore, you're not fit to be government. Don't come and pick up for government officials here.
Wait.
Mayor, you
Man,
spraying,
what
you
nonsense is
spraying
that?
bullet all the time.
No, I'm not.
That's what you
Wait.
The
bullet.
AG said that.
Edson Lowe.
That something will land
No,
on the target.
AG said
That's what
that.
you hoping.
AG said that,
Edson Lowe,
Leonard.
Edson
The
Lowe.
AG said that. How
So-
the government gonna know all of
How
this?
they can know that is
Right?
science?
So
That
you
is
don't
science.
have a minister of home affairs
How-
to know all
How
these
the
records?
How the Minister of Public Works would know
How you don't have
that
a
the man's
minister of
people
home
left the
affairs
cocoa open?
to get all these records? I'm speaking of records. Where these people them come? Therefore, you don't have a proper data.
I am not
What is happening
responding to any of
with
that.
immigrants and
Except
foreign
to
laborers
say
in this
that
country?
he's shooting
No,
scatter
this is
shot.
not shooting.
Y'all shoot
This
that.
is
Yes, sir.
factual. This is
Anyway.
factual.
Anyway, let's
But there's one thing you mentioned though, Freddie, that I just want to pull back to. How the minister supposed to know that somebody sleeping and left open the coker? We have to have better systems in place
No,
so that there's not natural
That is
disasters.
No.
Because
No, that is the vagaries of life. You can't tell a
Man.
minister anywhere in the world that they must know what's going on in their ministries. You
what you're
can't.
supposed to have.
Freddie, I
Listen,
said you
listen,
don't do any
listen,
programs.
No, but
Where you
listen,
said
listen.
ministers
Listen.
must know everything happening.
Your PNC government,
Right.
your PNC government should have resigned. The
You
previous.
see, this is where
when the
you
president
don't like to
no,
hear
no,
the
no,
facts.
no, no, no,
And you
no,
come
no,
now
right?
with
Under-
the PNC government.
Under
Under
your.
Ramjitan.
No,
Was
no.
Ramjitan supposed to resign?
You was a part of the AFC.
No,
I know.
You was a
And I-
part of the
But
AFC.
this is my point. He was
And
not
this is
supposed
my-
because I support what Freddie
So
said,
you gonna
it's
repeat the
vagaries
same
of
mistake?
life.
You gonna repeat the same mistake again?
That's why we have blackout all the time, because the vagaries of life.
still repeat
You can't put the play proper systems to deal with it. It's just vagaries of life. That is why things don't work in Ghana. That's why they don't work.
No, I got one for him. I got during the AP and UAFC government, Black Bush poll had the highest suicide rate in the world. You can blame Granger for that? You can blame government for that? Man, what
Policies are
Hold on a
important.
second.
Policies are
You
important.
can have social workers if you see that you have a social issue.
No, but when the thing happens, you could put corrective measures.
When the
but,
dorms-
but look what happened.
You can still get blackout. You still get 24 hours blackout. When this government spending billions of US dollars
When a prison
on two
burns
ships,
to the ground,
right?
you have to ask, were there
On
fire
two
detect?
ships?
Were there fire detect smoke alarms? Were there fire prevention measures? You can't just absolve the government.
How are we doing for life?
Ubraj, Ubraj,
Yes, sir.
when you gonna inject falsity?
He always does.
There is not no flaws.
I don't know.
There is
And I
not
don't
no
want to
flaws
seem-
and fraud here.
I don't want to seem to be argumentative on this program. I want to let you air your view. But when you come blatant, this is not a point of view. This is blatant misrepresentation
Man, this is
of fact.
factual.
And I
Leonard.
got to fix this.
No, this is factual. You know that.
Do
too.
you know that the electricity grid is being overhauled and you got shut off the electricity to
I'm
move
fully
wires?
aware of all of
And
that.
if you're aware,
I'm aware of that,
and there is
but
no
let the-
issue
Good.
with capacity.
I allow you. Give me the
There
point
is no
now.
issue with capacity.
Give me let me
No,
speak
you
now.
just extended the power ship contract. There's no
Exactly.
issue with capacity.
There is no
Exactly.
issue with capacity. The blackouts
So why did you
are
extend the
related.
power ship contract?
The blackouts are
Exactly.
related. No, the power
with the
ship
500, I think it's 550 million
power
US
ship
being
includes-
spent,
So
that
why
is
you
spent on the
promising
power
people that
ships.
there will
You
be
could
no
easily have
blackout?
had permanent power
You're
generation.
repeating the issue, Leonard. You're repeating
Again.
the issue. Find
Yeah,
solution.
man.
That is what the people voted
The
for.
solution is the new
Right.
grid that is being
I will
constructed.
bet you my
And the
bottom dollar.
wires got to move from the old pole to the
20
new
tour
one.
take a reach and this blackout
And you
issue
still have
will
blackout.
not solve.
Because
I bet my
if your
bottom dollar on
attitude
that.
is that it's just the vagaries of life, then yes, random things will affect you because you're not putting in place systems to prevent them.
Man,
No,
in-
you
in-
missing.
Why is it that other parts of the world don't have blackout?
You
in a
missing-
state in
There are
America.
other places
In
that
a
don't
state-
have blackout
Hold
like
on.
we have
State
blackout.
in
What?
America,
Listen.
a ship drive
Listen.
and pull along a whole bridge.
But the
Listen,
number of times
listen.
that happens compared to
Listen.
Guyana is totally
Listen, man,
disproportionate.
come on.
Some people shot 30 people on the beach in Australia. Kill them. A guy just went in and
So
shot.
that doesn't mean you should have tighter gun control?
No. According to you and Ubraj, the government know what Guyana, a man shoot 30
How
people.
did he get a gun?
Should he? No, but should
No,
those,
but that's
should
my
those
point.
governments
The
resign?
reason that he didn't get a gun
Yeah, you know
would
how
be because there's a system to protect for gun control, to protect
you
people.
are- no,
So
no,
what I'm saying
that's a
is,
different
you
thing.
can't
Look.
just throw your hands up in the air
Look,
and
how-
say randomness
operator,
and there's nothing you can do. You can't
are
do
we all
that.
like in terms of life? Are you sure?
Yeah, so that's the point. Listen, there's a medium ground. I'm not saying that the government must control everything, but at the same time, the things that are reasonable for control should be controlled. You know, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And I think more generally, Guyanese, and you see this every time there's a blackout, agree that that shouldn't be as we go forward. I mean, we spent 15 years worth of budgets in the last couple of years. So why does this persistent? You know?
Anyway, I
The
am not
operator
gonna-
said no, we gotta go.
I am not going to persist in an argument, but I hope they...
Factual.
No, that's
you
factual.
understand
No,
what
I
happening.
want,
The
I want
public will know that
I want-
factual
Just
as
for
they
the sake
speaking.
of the viewers,
The
I am
public
going
will
to
know.
say much of the blackout is scheduled blackout
Okay.
because the system
Since
is
2020.
being rebuilt.
Okay, that's why.
And you
Well,
can
look-
see it with
Look
your
who
very
is talk,
eyes that
look
you
who is
travel around
talking.
that
Since
place.
The mayor of Georgetown, and I lived in Georgetown when he was mayor, and none of my gutters were clean.
2020.
None of my gutters were clean.
If the government
You should not
don't
talk.
give the
Sit down,
city
sit down.
council the right
Sit down.
funding, the city council
So what
unable.
is the city council excuse for not being able to
Revalue
upkeep
the
its own-
city.
or it-
Revalue
no,
the
no, no.
city.
Why-
1996
You
valuation.
didn't resign?
For it not being able to
Revalue the
upkeep its own compound.
Revalue the city.
Huh?
City Hall, new admin building put up in my tenure.
Man,
City Hall
went to
building,
your
I had
office
to
already
fight
and it's
His
creaking, man.
Excellency to get City
I
Hall
went to
building
your
up.
office, which you building
Right.
you put up.
Freddie, please
When you were mayor,
Constabulary building right in the compound.
But for
there,
us,
the
we
hall
have
in
it.
the park
No,
under
no,
your
no, no, no,
tenure.
no.
You're
You go
telling
back.
me
You go back. I will send you
what
pictures.
excuse is that?
I will send you. I have evidence, and I will bring the evidence again
All right.
next time I come on this program. Leonard,
I am surprised at you.
Here, what? No, you coming back?
I got no problem coming back.
No,
neither.
he can come back.
I got no problem.
He can